always loved having minor league baseball. All right, so we actually have multiple Hall of Famers, about 6, 7 Hall of Famers. Some of you may know these names: Sparky Anderson, Raleigh Fingers, Reggie Jackson, Ricky Henderson, just to name a few, and then about 3 others. We've also had a local person, y'all know, probably heard of him, from Modesto. Joe Rudy played at Downey High School, played here in Modesto, and then played in 3 straight World Series in the 70s. We've actually had 6 Major League Baseball Rookies of the Year, including Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Walt Weiss, Julio Rodriguez. We have had 32 Major League All-Stars come through Modesto that have had more than one All-Star game in the pros. Yeah, give that up. That's a great thing. We've had a World Series MVP, Jermaine Dye, Cy Young winner John Denny, AL MVP Miguel Tejada. This year's roster has the 3rd consecutive season the Mariners have had the number 1 draft pick here, Colt Emerson. So we talked about those 20 rounds of drafts. He's the number 1 draft pick for the Seattle Mariners. And then lastly, in 83 years of the California League, Modesto has played in and have won 10 league championships. And as John said earlier, the most recently last year winning the championship. And if was anybody there, raise your hand if you were there. Shame on you. We have your addresses, so we will follow up on that. It was one of the, probably for me after graffiti night, one of the coolest experiences. The ballpark was packed, the playoffs that we were here, and the 1 championship game that we got to host here. That video, seeing that, it was a great opportunity. So that's a little bit of the stats, a little bit of the history, so you know a little bit about minor league baseball. And so now we're going to go ahead and jump into our panel discussion. I'm going to pass this, make sure this works. Okay, there we go. So we're going to just go down the line here, and we're going to ask everybody, please, just again, tell us your name, your title, what role you play with the team, and tell us a little bit about your journey to get here today.
Hi, my name's Ashton Izzy. I'm a right-handed pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, and this year I'm a starter for the Modesto Nuts. I was drafted 2 years ago, and I was a high school pick, so this all is a whole new experience for me. It's pretty awesome to be playing baseball as a job, and it's just awesome to be playing in a community like Modesto.
Thank you. And one of the things that some of you who have been to games might relate to me is it's interesting to have grown up watching players that are older than you. Then at one point you're as old as the players, and then the players are younger than your son. So welcome to Modesto.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joe Loera. I'm the Director of Creative Services for the Modesto Nuts. And for what some of you might sort of think creative services is like making posters and graphics and billboards for around the park, which I do. I also manage those who run our social media, run our marketing, run our community outreach, and run the promotional nights for the evening. So the core of my job is to make sure that sponsors get what they pay for, make sure they have a good time out in the field, and then sort of finding new and creative ways to keep fans coming back, keep them informed, and keep them involved. So thank you.
Joe, can I just real quick with that? How long have you been with the Nuts?
Oh, right. So I started 2021 season. I started up in the press box, sort of just running the sort of the sounds and sort of the sites, like the video board you guys see. Those of you who've been out there, sort of putting those things on the video board. Kind of the entry-level job, I guess you could say, one of the entry-level jobs that we offer. And then the 2023 season, I became like the graphic designer. So again, making the graphics and different artwork that you'll see around the park. And then 2024 season is my first year as the creative director. So yeah, I've loved it.
Great. And he does a great job. If you see some of the work, the programs that are around here and stuff, him and his team just do a really fabulous job bringing the team to life. Veronica.
Veronica Hernandez, general manager for the Modesto Nuts. This is actually my 10th year working in baseball. So originally from Connecticut, worked for about 5 different teams across the country and landed in Modesto back in October of 2018. So overall, when I started, I was the director of marketing and promotions. So a little bit of what Joe kind of listed, and now I get to oversee all of the ballpark and business operations. So we'll get into it here soon, but more so helping and supporting the team.
I don't know if you're going to mention it because she's very humble if you get to know her, but tell us a little bit about that call when you became the general manager, or was that later, or like that was a big step. She went from director to assistant GM to GM.
Yeah.
That's pretty historic.
So January of 22, I was promoted to assistant general manager. Unfortunately, in March of 22, our general manager took a different position with a different team, which left us without a general manager for a few months. So I stepped in as interim as soon as he left, meaning I got flustered with a lot of things that I did not know. And then in May of 22, I officially received the promotion as general manager. So it was a whirlwind for sure. I'm still learning a lot of new things and making some tough calls, but overall it's been a fun ride.
Well, she's still too humble, so I just want to point out really quickly, this is what it's like being her friend. But we had an event I'm with the Latino Chamber of Commerce, and we had an event last Saturday at the ballpark, and we had a young girl, probably 9 or 10, young Latino girl that won the prize. And when she's waiting to go on the big jumbotron and be excited and everything, she looks up to Veronica, and when she finds out that Veronica is Latina, the first Latina to ever do this, and that she bosses around all the guys, her eyes just swelled up like this. And so it's a pretty big accomplishment. Maybe if you don't know baseball, it's hard to understand it, and she won't brag about it, but all of her friends, and we all like to brag about it. So congratulations with that. All right, this time we're going to start down. Let's give it up for her.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we're going to start with you, Veronica. Tell us, please, what you think is the biggest misconception about your position.
I touched upon it a little bit. So baseball operations. The world of baseball is split into basically two sectors, the business operations and the baseball operations. So when you think about baseball, a lot of your attention goes to the players, drafting them, signing them, how much they get paid, all of their health performance, so anything from doctors to nutritionists to strength and conditioning coach. That's all the Seattle Mariners and they do. So it starts from the top with the president, Jerry DiPoto, and then it bleeds down into all of his directors. He has a supportive team as coordinators that travel across the country to the different affiliates, and then he has those individuals like our manager or strength and conditioning coach, our trainer, operate here locally for the affiliate and for the team. So again, all of that, signing them, drafting them, researching, scouting, all of that stuff is done through our affiliate. And I oversee the business and ballpark operations. So where that merges is more so whenever we can support the players. So if something breaks in the clubhouse or a bullpen isn't built correctly, those little things, travel, hotel, we support them in because that's a little bit of the business operation side and the ballpark operation side. But overall, our focus in the office here locally is more so how do we, one, pack out the ballpark is always the goal, but also run an efficient ballpark. So as you guys were speaking before about our history, we have about an 80-year-old ballpark. So it does make a little bit challenges here and there on some things, but we do make it work, and we also try and do some fun things like Joe was mentioning of creating new promotions, tying in with new community partners, and trying to build a community up from top to bottom.
So if Ash has a problem with his curveball, he can't come to you and get feedback on that?
No.
All right. And
You can talk to Ash about it.
You don't do the signing bonuses? So you don't do the signing. Okay, so we get that. So if you're not understanding that, basically Veronica handles the business side. So in minor league baseball, there is a person that usually owns the team. In this case, the Seattle Mariners actually own the minor league ballpark. That's a little bit rare in minor league baseball. So she reports to the Mariners and handles all the business side. And then the gentleman you see on the field and the Seattle Mariners themselves handle the baseball side. So you can't go out there and coach, I guess. Next question is for Ash. Ash, can you tell us a little bit, what's the biggest misconception about being a minor league baseball player versus a major league baseball player, moving around, the stress of being a prospect? Kind of walk us through what that's like, and maybe even just a little bit about, you said you're drafted out of high school. I've had a few friends that have had that. That's pretty intense. You're a senior in high school, and all of a sudden they call your name. You're probably Mr. Guy for the day or week at school. Tell us a little bit about that.
So with that, we actually had a first-round pick also go to my high school. So I kind of got overlooked a little bit with that, sadly. But it was still an awesome experience preparing for about the whole summer before the draft. And going through all that stuff was just a great experience. Getting to do it with my family and my friends, all of them supporting me, that was pretty awesome. And then with the biggest misconception, I would say that it's a lot different than other sports. A lot of other sports like, say, football or basketball, you're drafted and you're on the major, like the top team. Baseball is completely different. Like you said, there's prospects and levels, so it's a lot different with the way that you can go up, you can go down at any time. It's all about how they see your future in the next 2 years, not where you're at right this minute. So there's a lot more to it than just you're drafted, you're on the team. You gotta get better, you gotta progress, you gotta help the team get better, and that's the big thing that I think people don't understand compared to say other sports. Is that baseball is a lot different.
So this is your second season, right?
Yes.
And so I'm assuming the off season you got to go back home.
Yes.
So tell us, I think every guy at some point dreams of what you're doing. What's it like that first time after you've been in pro baseball and you go back home and you see your old friends, your old team? How different is it and how fun is it?
Really fun, but I'd say it's a lot different than say a lot of college guys because I go home whenever I could, and my friends would be all at college still.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to go see them, I'd have to drive a good way. And now I just moved out to Florida, so I have no friends out there when I go home. But it's pretty nice. I get to see my family. We get to go do fun things because I have all the time then. I just got to make sure I keep up with my baseball stuff. But this last off season was probably my more fun one. We got to explore Florida. We got to go like just see all the stuff around, go try or see how the water is, just live life.
That's wonderful. You do have some new friends here today, so if you want to find somebody to have lunch with, just a quick last follow-up here. You're making 10, 20 million a year. You don't have to tell us how much you're making, but
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what the difference is when we look on the field for a minor league versus a major league player.
I'd say there's not a huge difference. I would just say it's the consistency that a player can do what they do. At a young age, you have these glimpses of what you can do, and then as you get older, you just become more consistent at doing that, and that's what makes the biggest difference I think between a major leaguer and a minor leaguer is just how often they can do what you've seen that they could do.
So as much as you love Modesto, you probably want to get out of here as fast as you can, then is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So Joe, take us through a day. How is it or not related to about baseball? Like, just walk us through a standard day being Creative Joe.
Yeah, so my position allows me to wear many hats, both figuratively and literally, for those of you walking on the park. Whether we're home or away, I'm always rocking some kind of different hat. But so with my position, it's all about fan experience. A lot of it is fan experience. I'm always thinking about the little details that can elevate our team, can elevate the fans, can get them back in the park. So what's really interesting about a fan is no two fans are the same. You know, everyone is there for a different reason. A lot of people would say it'd be to watch the game. I wish that were true, but the reality is some people are there, they start watching the game, and then they kind of sort of dwell around what else do they have here. And that's kind of where I fall in. I find that since no two fan experiences are the same, there's always a way to sort of tweak the experience around JTF. There's always something that we can rearrange. There's always something we can make better. There's always something to learn in that respect. So since no two fans are the same, nor are their experiences the same, no 2 days of my job are ever the same. So I'm always, again, always thinking about fan experience. How can we do better? And what's great about that is once I have sort of delved into the details of how to make this fan experience better, and I get something in motion and we get something actually out there, that's when I get to actually enjoy baseball. So I'd say the fun part of my job is when I get to just sit back and watch the work unfold. And usually when I'm out watching baseball is the time where I feel like, the work is done. I get to see the fruits of our labor, the culmination of my team putting in the hours, putting in the effort. And sometimes things work, sometimes things don't. That's life. That's sort of the business. And so being Creative Joe, as you so eloquently put, comes with a lot of different hurdles, but that's the fun part of the job, is figuring out how we can creatively get over those hurdles and sort of keep the fans coming back.
Well, and to give you a little insight, I mentioned working with Joe. We actually just met last week. So he's, when the team's in town, they're all working like crazy. So he's working the current game and preparing everything that we're going to put on the Jumbotron for our event at the game the next night. Gets it all done, sleeps for about a few hours, comes back out to the ballpark like all of them, and does it all over again. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention, if you would like to go to one of our 4 remaining Loteria games and play Loteria stadium-wide for money for Latino Chamber of Commerce, see me or Joe or anybody afterwards. We have several games we can make that happen. Next question is also for you. What's the craziest thing that's happened to you in baseball? Just craziest, give us that juicy, creative story.
You guys saw a little bit, sneak peek of the 2023 season. That season was a really wild ride for me. It got to a point where the Nuts were a little bit behind from getting a playoff contention sort of position, and they needed to win. At the point that I'm speaking of, they needed to win every single game to get to that point, and that's exactly what they did. Right? We never give up on our boys until the season's over, and so morale was sort of teetering. It was a point where it's like, oh, are they gonna do it? And then they just go out, and then 16-game winning streak. It was just absolutely, it was insane to watch that unfold. And it's even on our front office, we get a championship ring. I was fortunate enough to get one. There's a little 16 sort of commemorating that. So just watching that unfold and seeing that they never gave up, even though the odds were sort of slipping from their favor a little bit. They didn't quit. It sort of really reinvigorated my love for the game, and really made me proud to be a Modesto Nut staff.
Thanks. And crushed it in the playoffs, swept them in the series. I mean, fun season. Veronica, same question.
Mine's more operationally. Back when I was in Arkansas, so I worked for the Arkansas Travelers, AA affiliate for the Mariners. We had a tarp pull. There's a lot of tarp pulls. Thankfully not in California, but in Arkansas there definitely was. And sometimes the wind gets the best of you. We have very specific rules. We announce it every time we pull tarp, at least here in California. But the scariest moment is when you see your coworker 30 feet in the air because they never let go of the tarp. So that's probably one of the scariest, craziest things to happen.
Wow, 30 feet. So that's why I eat a lot of tacos, because then I wouldn't go up in I wouldn't have that happen. Ash, same question. Craziest thing in baseball, man, and don't hold back, because I know on the field you've got to have some.
Say when I was in high school, we played a game with, I'll say it was 30 or 40 mile an hour winds blowing straight out. I think there might have been 11 or 12 home runs that day. And
It was just the wind's fault?
Well, our field was really small too, so it didn't help. But that day, just everybody was hitting home runs, and it was crazy to watch.
That would be crazy. All right, so next question, we'll actually start with Ash. Tell us the best part about your job.
I'd say just coming out each day and watching baseball and playing baseball. I could be sitting at home playing video games or whatnot, but just being able to go watch baseball and play baseball every single day, just do the sport I love, it's a great thing.
Tell us a little bit, what did it feel like the first time you put that jersey on, the cleats on, you hear the crunching of the clay, that first time you walked on a pro field, and you were in the game, what's running through your mind there?
It was surreal. It was actually very nerve-wracking too, but I'd say last year being in the Arizona League, it's a big difference coming out and having fans watch you and knowing that you're playing for something more than just yourself. Mm-hmm. You're playing for the team and the community, which is honestly all you really need for adrenaline and all that. It's way different. It's a great experience.
That's wonderful. And what's it been like so far in the short part of the season in Modesto?
It's been good. It has ups and downs. Our team's doing really well. We're hitting well, so it makes it a little bit easier on the pitchers. Mm-hmm. But we've been doing good. It's been a great experience so far, and hopefully going back-to-back will be in the future.
I'm sure they'd like another ring. Joe, same question. What's the best part of the job?
Yeah, so I kind of mentioned it a little bit before, but a lot of planning goes into the things while I'm being Creative Joe. So it's just hours and hours in the office, making sure all the little details, the best of my knowledge, are sort of taken care of. But getting that moment where it's sort of the show must go on. The show's going to happen regardless, right? So we take all of these weeks into planning. I finally, the best part is when I get to actually go out there. I get to sit on a stand and just watch what I made unfold. Again, watching what my team put so much effort into doing, and that moment when it all goes well. There's no one radioing me for an emergency or anything happening that's going wrong. That's how I know, like, the show went, and it went out without a hiccup, and I get to just watch it as a fan. And so watching it as a fan, I also get to be more nitpicky, right? Because when you're in your office in project tunnel vision, you don't get to really see what you create out in the world, in real life in front of your eyes. You sort of can just assume that I guess everything went well, but when you actually get to see it as a fan, and I get to watch this event happen, I get to be like, okay, well, I can nitpick that a little bit, make that a little bit. Oh, I can nitpick that a little, make it a little better. But yeah, watching what me and my team create, watch it unfold, and just watching it go without a hitch is bliss for me. I love it.
Veronica, same question. Best part about the job?
Before I answer that question, I want to dive into a little bit more detail of what Joe's saying. So we host 66 home games. Players play 132, but 66 home games where we can improve every game. We're constantly in communication. I'm in Joe's office. How can we do this better? How can we do that better? What is it about fan experience? I mean, we had our first jersey auction last week, and I was sitting in Joe's office for about an hour just like, how can this be better? Because it has to be better. So if you think about the perspective of Joe's a first-year director. He also has first-year coordinators. So these people barely are learning their jobs, and now they have to put on a show. They have to put it on well because it's a fan experience that matters. And there's very little time to pivot and do better. We don't have a whole year to regroup to say, oh, hey, how can we do tomorrow better? It's like, no, we have a game tonight, we have a game tomorrow, and we have to get better every day. So it leaves us very little turnaround time. So it's a big job. It's a lot of conversations. It's a lot of teamwork and definitely internal communication. So a lot more on
Real
that
quick
end.
before you go into the question, so you bring up a great point. You talk about all the logistics, the ballpark, the work you do in the day. Is that all you do, or do you guys do anything in the community?
Yeah, so that'll actually answer my answer is the community side. I love meeting with different business representatives and seeing how we can collaborate to do something awesome. So a great example is with the Stanislaus Latino Chamber. Last September, I went to their Loteria event, and it was fun. I mean, going out there, supporting the community, and doing those things. It was just a fun event, and after the event, I approached them, and I was like, let's blow this up. Let's have 1,000 people participate. Let's have 4,000 people participate, and that's the goal this year, is to make it massive, and that's what Brian was mentioning earlier about going to a Loteria event that we're hosting 4 more times this season, is coming out, supporting, having fun, but you get a dual. You get to play Loteria and go to a baseball game. So overall, going back to your question, Brian, no, there are game days that we're here at what we call community appearances. So now, normally I get to the ballpark probably around 8:30, 9 a.m. in the morning on a game day, and I'm immediately like, go, go, go. I have over 100 emails. I mean, you guys know how the email game goes, to get to. And of course, everyone wants their answer now, yeah. So add that layer in, add all the calls coming in, add going to a community appearance and squeezing that into your schedule, and then, oh, you have a game tonight to prepare for. So it's definitely a juggling act.
Do you have more friends now that you're the general manager?
A little bit, yeah.
Also, so to give you kind of a glimpse into that, like tonight they have a game. So, but also Saturday, many of you went to Love Modesto, which had a great turnout, over 3,500 people. What time did you get there?
5:40.
And what time did you went straight from there to the ballpark? And then what time did you leave the ballpark Saturday?
About 1:30 in the morning.
So, many of you know Veronica because she's really engrossed herself into our community. You never see her tired. You never see her with a frown. You never see her down. And that's a regular workday schedule. So that's pretty impressive. We've actually accidentally pulled up against next to each other on McHenry Avenue and early in the morning going to wherever we're going and I've seen the look there, but not at the ballpark. So it's nice. So that's an important part to realize their staff is doing so much. Everybody wants them at their events. Everybody wants them at school. Everybody wants to see the players. One of my favorite things to watch at the ball game is all the kids hanging out at the end of the dugout for the autograph. And I just flash back to, you think the stadium's old now. You should have seen it when I was a kid. And I just remember that ball and just the dream of, having Miguel Tejada sign my ball and things like that. It was pretty impressive. And a kid asking for your autograph. Fun first time you signed an autograph? Pretty cool? All right. So actually, we're going to stay with Veronica. What does having a Major League Baseball team, a minor league baseball team in the community mean to you? What does it mean to have Modesto baseball?
So to me, I think it means a little bit more. So like I mentioned, I'm not originally from Modesto. I'm not really originally from California. I'm from Connecticut. Connecticut doesn't have professional sports teams. But even more so in the minors, there are a few minor league teams in Connecticut, but very far from where I'm originally from. So you're looking at a 45-minute drive just to watch professional anything. And I didn't have that experience. We do a lot, as mentioned before, with the community. So one of the biggest things is our reading program. We work with over 20,000 students on that end. We work with over 60 schools and getting them enrolled into our reading program. And I did not have that. I didn't have an award of reading challenge and get to go to a baseball game where I get a parade and food and on top of 3 other prizes in the community too. So it's one of those things that I didn't get as a child. Very jealous of the community that has that, and they can have that as elementary level for high school students. As I'm sure everyone has thought about is like, oh, what is there to do for high school students around? And it's tough for them. Like, where can they hang out? And my childhood was the mall and movie theater, which I'm sure hasn't changed crazy ton. But Modesto also has, and Stanislaus County also has a minor league baseball team to go to and enjoy their game, enjoy their night, be safe. So they're safe. It is a family-friendly atmosphere. And again, that's just something that I didn't have growing up.
Go ahead, Joe. Same question, Joe.
Something we've mentioned a few times in this park, a few times up here, is that the park is pretty old, has some history to it. But I think John Thurman represents that in the best ways. It's for those of you who have been, it's a smaller, more intimate park. But with that comes its pros, right? The crowd is louder. I can hear someone cheering from, deep in the stands. If someone's in concessions, I can hear it. People pounding their feet on the metal bleachers. It's just like a rumble you can hear for like a quarter mile away. Normally when people think of a baseball stadium, they're these large cold concrete cathedrals, right? They're huge, they're massive. They look out, they see buildings and skyscrapers and one of the great things about John Thurman Field is like it's a park within a park, right? You look out, you see nature, you see trees, sort of the things that the Modesto Nuts were founded on. So that experience is something that is in our backyard in Modesto, and I think it's really important for people to realize that there's so much to John Thurman Field that you have to experience, and you won't get it unless you go there, right? Again, small park, it doesn't take you 20 minutes to get from one side to another. The energy is, when it gets loud in there, it's like really, really loud. So it's just great that, here in Modesto, we can go view a championship team of athletes, just getting to their peak, climbing their peak for less than it costs to go to see a movie. And so, that I think is really important for Modesto to sort of, have that in their community, to have that experience, to have a place where if you're bored on a Thursday, go to a game. Oh, there's fireworks that night. It's going to be packed. Let's go to the game. And again, less than going to a movie theater and watching a movie quietly. So yeah, as far as how important is it to me to have something like that in our community, I think it provides entertainment, and more importantly, I think it provides validity in Modesto, that, hey, Modesto is just not some little podunk town surrounded by fields and orchards and factories, and you just drive through it. There's actually a landmark here that has done a lot for the community over the years. So I think it's very, very important.
Thank you. Ash?
For me, I would say knowing that when I go out there and I'm playing, I'm not just playing for myself. I said it earlier, but playing for the community. I wear Modesto on the jersey. I'm not just going out there and caring about what I do. I'm playing for the whole community, and then knowing that when there's like kids there, like you said, signing autographs, that can make that could be a great experience for them. It's not just for myself. It's creating experiences that they are gonna remember for their years, and then along with that, knowing that there's kids out there watching who this is their dream too, and that they want to do what I'm doing. So not just taking it for granted, and just knowing that I can make their day by just saying hi or giving them a fist bump, seeing them after the game, giving them a ball. That it just means a lot.
Thank you for that. Yeah, there's real opportunity that we forget sometimes. Modesto has a rich baseball history. I would put baseball right up there with graffiti night as the identity of Modesto. And if you get a chance, Google. I mean, there's so many amazing facts. I think it was 1961, the World Series between the Giants and I forget who they were playing, got postponed. Giants and Yankees, and they came to Modesto to practice. And we've had 62? Thank you. I was not quite there yet. There you go. And that's what I mean, is that's handed down. I spent my childhood there. It's a treasure that's hard to do in Major League Baseball now, with a lot of stadiums closing down because of structural issues or team attendance and stuff. So we always want to look at that, because I think we would be really sad if we woke up one day and there was no more baseball in Modesto. It's so hypnotizing that, as I said earlier, I wear Modesto before I wear my Major League team. And I love my Major League team, but I joke with Veronica all the time, oh, they had to go from the Rockies to the Mariners. I could at least do that. But I literally go, and I've had season tickets, and I'm rooting against my team. I should be rooting technically for Stockton, but I'm rooting against Stockton. I'm sitting there like, why am I doing this? Because we love Modesto. And we love every person that's come through here from the professional side. But many of us have known the front staff all the way back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And so many people have come here and called Modesto home and remained here. So it's just been such a pleasure to kind of hear some of those stories and those wonderful answers. So let's give them all a round of applause one more time for that. Feel free to go to a game. $8 ticket, I think, is the least expensive ticket. If you want to talk to me about buying tickets to support the chamber, and $5 can win you a 75-inch TV, you could talk to any of us about that. I believe we have a raffle now we're going to do. All right. And we did, as we mentioned earlier, Giants fans are not eligible. That hate will never stop. Okay, so we're going to go down. We're going to draw one at a time. So you draw the ticket and call the number, and Veronica will give the prize.
6025118.
Come on down, 1962. Creative Joe, get us a good one here. I'm going to trademark that just by the way. So,
all right, so we have 6025120.
All right.
All right.
Let's keep going back here.
6025136. Yep.
There we go.
All right, next up, 6025125.
All All right, in the back here.
All right.
There we go. And these are marked, so if we see these on eBay later, we're going to have a conversation.
6025124.
Oh, we got a hot table over here.
All right. Next up, 6025115. All right.
All right. Roll relief in the house.
6025134.
All right, let's keep those applause going. They're starting to die down a little bit there.
All right. We have 6025117.
Ooh, hot table, another hot table.
6025119.
All right. You know what I'm noticing here is this is all the people that got here early. So I'm just throwing that out there. I know I had a couple friends get here like 7:10. I'm just throwing that out there. So if you get here early. Last one.
6025121.
Right down in front, new table. All right. So again, everybody come out and support the Modesto Nuts. Let's give one more round of applause for our panel. And we're going to turn it back over to John, who's going to tell us how much he doesn't like the Giants.
Hey, come on, dude. The Giants? I love the Giants. I still love you too, Mark. I promise. Justin. All right. Hey, just real quick, Marvin threw me a curveball. Pun intended. You're welcome. So he wanted me to ask you, Veronica, what do you want to say to us, the community, about why we should be passionate about our team?
A lot of reasons. One, I mentioned it before, the professional aspect. These are professional baseball players. So being proud that we have these professional athletes that can potentially have really big careers in the major leagues. And we spoke about it a little bit. I would say more recently, Julio Rodriguez is one of the top names here currently that played in Modesto in 2019. He was a coach in our kids clinic. He was in parades. Like, he was very involved, and that's something that we could take advantage of them now. But it's also just supporting and having a good time. It's a safe place, a safe atmosphere, great for anyone of all ages. I mean, we have, I think the youngest I've ever seen is a 3-week-old kid at our ballpark, all the way until I think 100 was one of the fans that I saw. So all ages, literally 0 to 100 on that one, and it's just a great, fun place to be. And very affordable too. So for those that don't know, there is a way that you can come out to a ballpark with a family of 4, parking, tickets, food, all for less than $40, which is pretty awesome in 2024.
Yeah, super awesome. Well, hey, give it up for our panel, you guys. I agree. Brian's right. We're Modesto proud. I rock the jersey too. I'm a Giants fan, so I usually should be rooting for the San Jose Giants, but no, I'm here for the Nuts. This is what's up. So thank you guys so much. You crushed it. Thank you. Give it up for him again one more time, huh? All right, I'm going to wrap up here quick so we can get you out of here. Hey, this is a place that we want you guys to create, not just give information. So make sure you invite each other to a Nuts game, right? Go to a game. Grab you some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Speaking of that, take those home. We don't want to take them home with us, all right? So make sure you do that. And yeah, share. If you could do us a favor and share something that you learned today with a friend, family, your coworkers, just something that you had no idea about our team here at the Modesto Nuts. Man, what an honor it is to have a team in our town. So let's continue to support them. Lastly, I do have to do this because I like my job. Man, we are a 501c3, so please, if you enjoy what we do, if you're encouraged by what we do, if you are blessed by what we do, man, make sure you give. Your boy's got to make a paycheck, man. Come on, take care of me now. You know what I'm saying? But no, please do that. We are a 501c3. We really appreciate it. There's a QR code you can scan to do that there. If you're a business, man, we would love to have you as a business sponsor. So please do that. Now, lastly, I'm going to invite the next person up that is going to be hosting and being a part of the next month's Catalyst. Oh, that's me, dog. What up? Yeah, I'm on the stage again. Actually, me and Veronica are going to be up here. It's going to be awesome. Susan's going to be here. We have a group called the West Modesto Leadership Group. And what we've done there is really try to impact our community. We're going to share about what we've done, some of the things that we're doing, and then also kind of how that works, right? It's a lot like this, a gathering of people like-minded with good hearts that want to help impact their community. And we're going to help kind of share some examples of why we think it works and how you may be able to do the same thing for a community that you want to impact, whether it's your school, your neighborhood, your work, whatever that looks like. I think we could be really helpful for you. Plus, you get to see my ugly mug again, and that's always something to do, right? So please show up next month. We're going to be here. It's going to be awesome. I don't know if we'll have horchata, but we'll try to figure something out for you. Come in, be surprised. I'm going to pray for us, and then I'm going to get you out of here. So, Father, thank you so much for today. What a blessing it is, Lord, to be in a room with like-minded people, like-hearted people, people that want to impact their community, want to impact the change or keep the same, whatever's going amazingly in our community. Without these people in the room or people watching, man, we couldn't be who we are as a city. And I am proud to be part of this city. And so I'm so grateful, Father, that you've put people like this in this room together and that you've put people on this earth to do that, Lord. And so we love you. We are grateful for you, Lord. Bless our days. Keep us safe. Be with our families. Again, thank you for this opportunity. We love you so much, and we say these things in your son's name. Amen. All right, guys, stick around, have conversation, eat some peanuts and Cracker Jacks, and drink that horchata, because if not, I'll drink it all. It's not going to look good. It's going to be really ugly. Hey, thanks, guys.